Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is a video I had intended to make well before now, but today the Bronco's going on its first off-road adventure. I'm going to take it out, hit some trails, see how it does in its purely stock form. Other than the wheels, we've got a little bit wider track on it, but other than that, purely stock, and I'm going to see how it does. We're going down to Stoney Lonesome, down near Coleman, Alabama, so let's get down there. So Stoney Lonesome is about 10 miles off of I-65 down near Coleman, Alabama, pretty close to Smith Lake. So if you wanted to turn this into a long weekend and do some boating, fishing, and some four-wheeling, great opportunity. This lower parking lot here, as you can see, had some car wash bays, so you could go ahead and hose your rig off before you either load it up or drive back out, as well as a lower set of bathrooms. So as we continue up this path here, you're going to hit the clubhouse that you need to check in before you head out on the trails. They're going to provide you all kinds of information if this is your first time here about what you should hit, what you should avoid, as well as where you're likely to get body damage, mud pits, anything they've seen. This is going to really help you have a fun and safe stay here. They're going to be able to also provide you with this trail map here, which is going to show the expanse of the park, and then it's going to have every one of their trails kind of graded from easy, medium, and advanced. And there's different variations in there. You know, easy can be a 1 to 2, medium 3, 4, 5. Some of the trails we're going to hit today are going to be 4 and below, so nothing too crazy. So once you wrap up with that, get your map and your wristband, you're ready to head out. You'll check in here at this front kiosk before you go into the park. And I wanted to double check with him one more time to make sure I had my map oriented correctly and I was following the road that I was told to on my way out to the trails that I was planning to run today. This is a park that allows ATVs, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, rock buggies, anything you want to bring out here. They're pretty cool if you run in. Some of the trails are obviously going to be more suited to certain types of vehicles than others. But all in all, there's a ton of stuff to do out here. I can't remember how many miles of trails they said they had, but it's a lot. So enjoy, and I'll check back in when we get to one of the trails. I do want to mention that this main road here is two-way traffic, but some points are narrow. So you're going to see me here. I was checking with these couple of guys. As you're going in and out of this main road, you're going to hit points where as you're passing cars, only one's going to be able to get in. So just make sure you're checking with the people as you're passing by that this is their entire team or their entire group that's with them, so you don't get pinched up here and have to back awkwardly down some of these trails. It's always nice to talk to them also, see where they're coming from, and see what they recommend you hit while you're out there. All right, so we're going to be pulling up here to trail 421, which this is the main trail that the front office recommended I try while I was here. And so, as you can see on the map here, it's going to start on the back side of the map. It's a pretty good length intermediate trail that's going to take you back to the front side of the park. As you can see, it kind of sweeps back through there, and there's shoot-offs on it that can be 421A, 421B, and everything's labeled really well as you're out on the trail. If you keep an eye out for the markers, you'll see them. They're very visible, and you can kind of navigate your way with that map and all the trail markings pretty easily. And so this one is again a pretty good fit for the Bronco. My buddy has a Hummer. I think the Hummer would struggle in some of these places when some of the trees get narrow and tight, but Bronco fit well. Side-by-sides will obviously fit fantastic. And again, this was an intermediate trail. It was blue, and I didn't run anything too hairy except for a couple places here where, and I'll navigate through those and talk you through what I was seeing there, where I could possibly get some body damage, right? I believe that's how they rate the trails is, easy to get through with no body damage. A little bit more difficult would be the intermediate ones, and then I think the reds are where they're kind of saying you're probably going to get some body damage and some rollovers. So here, we're pulling up to this first spot where I kind of thought I needed to get out and check, because you're dropping down off these rocks. You're going to be at kind of a weird tip angle, and there's the potential to slide into that tree that's off to the right. And so I just wanted to make sure I got out, was putting my tires where I wanted to put them. There is a little bit of slide here because I was trying to stay right to the tree, tight to keep my tip angle from getting too crazy. But all in all, again, nothing too difficult, and I was never really in any danger. This is one of those ones where if you take your daily driver out there, I think you're going to be more concerned. The vehicle's certainly more capable than I was willing to give it. But here's going to be a first-person view of what we were seeing inside the truck. So this is my dash cam, so the footage is a little grainy, but this is kind of what it looked like and what I was seeing as my front tires were dipping down and sliding a little bit. Okay, so we're coming up on the second spot on this trail where I wanted to get out and take a peek. They told me about this one up at the front office. And again, there's nothing too devastating here, or nothing that's anywhere near the capabilities of this truck. But again, as a first time out and as a driver who doesn't have a ton of seat time with this Bronco and this trail, I wanted to make sure I was setting myself up for success and not having any stupid mistakes. So I lined myself up. I had my wife get out and kind of walk me down this one. Now, this is where I made a pretty big tactical error. My wife and I didn't communicate beforehand what I needed her to tell me. And so you see me go back and forth a couple times, and this is 100% my fault. I just thought that my wife would know what I needed to hear, and she didn't. And so that's a big lesson, you guys. If whoever your spotter is, you need to make sure that they know what you need to hear, from their instructions, whether it be driver's side, however you want to hear those instructions. So you know exactly where they're trying to put you, and they know what you need to hear. But we got through it just fine. Again, it was nowhere near the limits of this truck. I'm super impressed with this Bronco. This was fully aired up tires. I asked him if we should air down to go out, and he's like, yeah, I wouldn't even waste your time with the trails you're doing. And so, again, this is maybe a 3.5 or 4 out of 10, this trail. So nothing too technical, nothing too crazy. But a good first time out to stretch the legs of the Bronco and see what it's capable of, and determine if this is something I want to go ahead and throw time and money into making this Bronco capable of hitting bigger, better things, or if my nerves are pretty good running 3 and 4 level trails, and saving that money for something else, maybe getting a side-by-side or a trail buggy that I can go bang off a rock and not feel bad about it. Because like I said, as capable as this truck is, this Bronco is rather, I would be super bummed if I slid it into a tree and banged up my daily driver. So, maybe rather than spending $10,000 in accessories to make this more off-road capable, maybe I put that $10,000 into a side-by-side or a buggy, and that's the smarter thing to do. Because like I said, it comes down to for me, my nerves and my driver ability. And I think the Bronco, like I said, has way more to give than I am comfortable goosing it for right now. So as we're making our way out of the park here, we're going to go back up and check in with the team at the front office one more time. They want to make sure that they don't lose anybody in the park, so this is a check-in, check-out system, just so they can make sure they don't need to send a team out to find anybody. All in all, had a great time out there. No body damage, a little bit of scraping for some brush, but I don't think I had any actual paint damage. Really good time. I would highly recommend it if you're in the area and looking for a good off-road park. Stony Lonesome is for you. All right, so I think the Bronco did really well. I was pretty impressed with it. It handled everything, it had more in it than I was willing to give today, right? Since that's a daily driver for me, I am only willing to do so much damage or put it in so much danger. But I think it had plenty more in the tank, and it's just purely stock form. So, oh yeah, buddy. I am very happy with how it performed. Stoney Lonesome, thanks to their team. Awesome place. Really glad that's close enough to us that I can zip down there on any given weekend. So I'm hoping to make it back down there, maybe take a crew down and really enjoy ourselves. But thanks for joining us on this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Say bye, Oscar.